My name is Kristen Scroggin, and I'm going to be your online instructor. So when I was growing up, I knew exactly what I wanted to be. I was going to be a Broadway actress. So I started doing theater very young, and I kicked butt at it. So I went to the University of Montevallo, just knowing my next step was going to be the Big Apple, but then reality hit. There were lots of talented people. They were just as talented as me. So my father was a debate coach at the University of Alabama, and then he spent most of his career as an elementary school principal. My mother taught gifted and talented. You can see them there teaching. She taught first and second graders for 27 years. My grandmother was a teacher. My uncle was a teacher. It seemed that no matter how hard I tried, I was definitely going to be a teacher. My mother used to tell me that you don't choose to be a teacher, that being a teacher chooses you. So one day, after I'd quit a job for the very first time and I was completely melting down in my car, I called my mom and said, "Man, I finally realized what I want to do. I want to teach." So I went to the University of Alabama and finished my master's in communication arts. So I began teaching at UAH in 2007, and I've been teaching communication arts here. During that time, I've been here so long that the logo has changed 3 times. While here, I've taught courses in business and professional communication. I've taught courses in rhetorical communication, nonverbal communication, small group communication, and organizational training and development. So as a teacher, I pride myself in always looking for new ways to connect to my students and looking for new and exciting learning styles. During my time at UAH, I've tried out programs like Flipped Classroom and have successfully done that for approximately 6 years. And now I'm creating this hybrid course for my department. I've also done great assignments like the Shark Tank assignment you see going on here. In addition to my teaching, I also study the millennial generation. Luckily, most of my students fall into this category, so I've had an entire first half of a generation that I've been able to do surveys and observations, focus groups, etc. on. I've had first-hand experience with this generation, and I can agree that you guys are different. I've had the opportunity to travel across the nation and give presentations to conferences about how the 4 generations in the workplace are working together, or don't. If you don't know anything about generations, you absolutely should look into it. The bottom line is that you're part of 27% if you're a millennial. 27%. That's a whole lot of people. You're going to have to find a way to stand out. On a more personal note, I've been married since 2000, which is seriously a long time compared to the vast majority of people my age. My husband is the opposite of me in pretty much every way. He's super introverted and works in logistics. We have 2 birth children and 2 adopted children. We're also licensed foster parents for Madison County. I'm super passionate about foster kids and making sure that they have a great life. If you're watching this right now, it means you're either in one of my classes or that I'm the online teacher for your part of the hybrid class. So you're probably wondering how this is all going to go. I mean, honestly, all you probably have seen up to this point is a traditional classroom. So what would make a hybrid class any different than that? Or better yet, how it makes it different from online. So let's start here at the very beginning. The first thing here is the idea of where does the class meet? A traditionalist class meets strictly in a classroom and it happens on a campus, where a hybrid course is going to meet part of the time online and then part of the time on their campus. Traditional classes are going to meet inside the classroom every day, same week and time, where a hybrid class is going to change. In a traditional class, the lecture is going to happen in a classroom, so like your professor stands up and speaks during the entire class time. However, on a hybrid, your video is going to be the main way that you get any of your information. You also read your textbook. When students have questions, normally in traditional, they raise your hand. Where in a hybrid, you ask those questions via discussion board. So you may be wondering what happens on days when you have presentations. Well, your teacher might be doing that differently than I do, so you should probably ask them directly. But here's a few tips for you. First of all, remember that everyone gets nervous. It's completely normal. You should actually never stop being nervous because that means that you don't care anymore. Your body is experiencing a massive adrenaline rush. It's similar to that as if you were jumping out of an airplane. Speaking of jumping out of an airplane, I've done that, and I can assure you that it is in no way equal to that of public speaking. But it may feel that way for you. And so as your teachers, we won't be getting rid of that feeling. It's going to be there. Our goal is to equip you with tools that will help you manage anxiety and channel it into a more exciting presentation. So if you think you're the only one in your class who wants to die, let me reassure you, you're not. You'll be doing lots of presentations this semester. Some will be more formal and others will be done less formally through things like sharing a video for an exercise. But regardless, we want to make sure that when you leave our classrooms, you are better equipped for your upcoming speeches and future jobs. We want to make sure you are great at it. So take a deep breath and jump into the semester. I think you're going to learn far more than you realized.